the problems I had with back problems, stomach problems. I wasn't getting the answers in the NHS. I'd given up. I was just sick of the endless medications and just getting worse and
Hi,
worse.
I'm Carol Westmore, lead editor and publisher of the exciting global collection of stories, Tap Into Your Best Life. EFT Tapping stories of real life transformation and healing. In this series, we spotlight our authors and explore the real life transformation behind their chapters. Today, we meet Karl Dawson, who wrote the foreword to the book. Karl is an EFT master and the creator of Matrix Reimprinting. He reveals his dramatic story from being crippled with back pain and physical problems to discovering EFT tapping and becoming a trainer to thousands worldwide and living his healthiest, best life today, 20 plus years later. Welcome, Karl. Karl, it's lovely to have you here today.
Thank you, Carol.
And thank you for agreeing to write the foreword to Tap Into Your Best Life, the upcoming collaborative book.
It was a pleasure to do so. Thank you, the privilege that you asked me to do that. It's always wonderful to get books out there about EFT and Matrix Reimprinting, and there's other great additions to EFT in this book, isn't there, as well? There's other techniques.
Yes.
So it's a nice wide ranging. I know some of the people that's contributing to the book. They're really good practitioners. The trainers. It's going to be a great book to get out.
Yes.
So it is actually a privilege to be asked to do the foreword. Thank you.
One thing that's always interested me is your own seed story, your origin story of how EFT came into your life and how it transformed your life going forward to how we can use it.
2002, a few decades ago, I was going through a terrible patch of my life, what we call a dark night of the soul, where everything seemed to be falling apart. Health is in a terrible state, emotionally. I just went through a breakup of my marriage and needed answers. So the problems I had with back problems, stomach problems, I wasn't getting the answers in the NHS. I'd given up. I was just sick of the endless medications and just getting worse and worse. There's a whole series of synchronicities that I ended up in Thailand, a health resort, actually a fasting detox place. And it was there that just by synchronicity, the practitioner, he did things like acupuncture, hypnotherapy, and this thing called emotional freedom techniques. I thought, well, that sounds a bit strange. And back then, being a Northern Englishman, I thought, well, my issues are all physical. There's nothing emotional here. But he was talking to me about it, and initially a lot of resistance. Eventually, I began to realize he was right. When I got home, I then sought some practitioners to start working on my issues. Bit by bit, things began to change. The pain went away. My health changed. My happiness, my life moved on. I realized pretty quickly I wanted to be a practitioner myself. I went from like absolute misery to actually really enjoying my life again. And I wanted to share that with other people. I wanted to facilitate that. Went on courses, went to America to see Gary Craig and got everything I could about EFT. A few years down the line, it was another synchronicity. One day I had 3 new clients who were all teachers. That's weird. 3 clients in one day, all teachers. What does that mean? And my little self-talk said, you should teach this to other people now. Once the thought was there, I had to do it. So I used EFT for the next few months to clear all the issues in the way, and I started teaching. This is back in 2004. Then 2007, Gary Craig did the master's program. I mean, that was a scary thing to go on. Over a period of 2 to 3 years, there was only ever 29 masters that qualified worldwide. I wasn't just doing bigger courses in the UK. I was now traveling. Yeah, I came to South Africa with you. We did Cape Town twice, and we went to Johannesburg once as well, didn't we? So I started traveling. But back 2007, my sister, who'd been a nurse for many, many years, she was getting a bit disillusioned with nursing. And I'd been talking more about EFT. So she asked me to go to Australia. Said, you'll get some nurses together. So I went to Australia. There was actually on that course that I was experimental with EFT. And I worked with one of the nurses. We just stumbled upon the first Matrix session, basically. EFT, just to explain the difference, EFT was always about look at the memory, what do you feel, and you tap on that to clear the trauma of the memory. This is a very simple explanation. Whereas Matrix, what we did this day was the lady had a memory. I don't know what it was because she didn't want to talk about it. So I said, can you see that little girl? And she said, yeah, I could see her so clearly I could tap on her. I was joking, kind of. And I said, okay, imagine stepping into that memory and tapping on her. And she did that. And I just didn't have to say that much. I just kept tapping on her. She's in there. She's talking to the younger self, what we call an echo in Matrix. And yeah, after 5-10 minutes, she came out of the memory, said, I know what happened. I know exactly why it happened. And it's completely resolved now. I started using it in simple ways. It was a quick way of getting trauma resolution. You could get the client to step in. Then there was realizations. The trauma resolution was great. Began to realize there was more than just the trauma. It's the belief and decision you made at the time. Which you begin to realize that's what really screws up somebody's life. It's not just what happens in the trauma. You make it mean things like, I'm not safe. I can't trust people. The world's dangerous. That is what creates all the problems in our lives. We began to realize that every single issue you'll ever have in your life, the origin was these early decisions you made. And even though we can have lots of different beliefs and decisions, we all tend to have one very key belief that dictates everything we do, from our relationships, our friendships, the work we do, our health, mental health, physical health, absolutely everything. The way we parent our children, we'll pass that down generationally. They'll pick up the same beliefs as us. So, yeah, there's trauma resolution, but we're really focused on the beliefs and decisions we've made as a child that we then attract and create, and we just keep running these through our lives, that we change that. And by changing the beliefs, it changes everything. And you experience that yourself. There's less stress. We stop redoing these silly patterns over and over again that just mess up our life.
But if we just tapping so the person feels better without getting to the core belief.
Tapping generally, it's good on a day-to-day basis. If I feel a bit anxious, tap, tap, tap. If I've got a bit of pain, tap, tap, tap. That's great. But when we get into the deeper levels of the beliefs, we really have to go back to these early memories. And what we do in Matrix is we not only resolve the trauma, but we allow these memories to complete in a positive way.
Yes.
So, for example, if the belief is I'm unlovable, and you remember 3 years old, mum shouted at you, and you made a decision, I'm unlovable. Mum doesn't love me. Who can love me? So we would literally go back. It's like time traveling. We send our consciousness back to that moment. We work with that younger self. We resolve the trauma, but we'd have a little chat with mum. Because of what you said that day, I felt unlovable. And it's totally real. These echoes are totally real. And mum realizes the mistake she made. So instead of shouting, she'll give that little girl a hug. But what's key here is this is not imagination. Imagination comes from the conscious mind. And just imagine it being different doesn't change nothing. The conscious mind, the subconscious are two different systems. For therapy to be really effective, we need to go and change the subconscious. Just being consciously aware of things. Oh, I know mum didn't really mean it that day, but it's still in there as a program.
Yes.
Just like reprogramming the subconscious. The language of the subconscious for everybody is images to which we give meaning. We have these memories that mean I'm unlovable, and then we keep recreating it, unlovable, unlovable, unlovable. So we go and recreate these memories, so I'm lovable, lovable, lovable. But the pictures are different, the memory's different, and the meaning's different, which then reprograms our subconscious, and we change our perception. Instead of attracting people that reinforce unlovable, now we attract people that actually make us feel loved.
And that is because you're not looking at unlovable as a global, I'm just unlovable, I want to be lovable. You're actually finding that core moment when you...
But there's many moments, though, when with something like that, it starts very early in childhood, but then we keep doing it. So there ends up many, many memories, that reinforce that over and over again. So we can run into it every day of our lives with our friends and family. We're looking for it. We recreate it. Our behavior instigates it. It's like,
and that's why they say, but it always happens to me.
Whatever your belief is, if you think the world's dangerous, you'll see danger everywhere.
Yes.
You'll turn on the television, you see danger. You'll be walking down the street, see danger. If you feel you can't trust people, you will see that in people.
Yes.
Look, that person, I can't trust them. Whatever the belief is, you will just run over and over, and it creates more and more problems, more stress.
And surface level isn't going to do it.
Because otherwise you're just constantly kind of self-regulation every day, over and over again.
So which is in itself okay to self-regulate.
You have to keep doing it. But if you can get back to these early memories and change the programming, you don't have to keep doing that in your life. You can stop doing it now and attract and create positive things into your life instead of all the negative.
Yes. So getting back to your personal story, you just had this since you were age 30 to 50. Tell us how physically...
I was riddled with pain everywhere. I had a prolapse disc in the lower back, L5 sacrum. I had shoulder pain, I had neck pain, I had knee pain. I couldn't drive a car for about 15 minutes without being in agony. I had to keep straightening my legs. I mean, now, well, I'm 60 next year, and now I can play sports, I can do anything I want and pain-free.
Yes.
The day-to-day pain I was riddled
That's
with
because
is all gone.
underlying that pain was what?
Negative beliefs, and just negative beliefs that I took into the world about not feeling good enough, strong enough to do various things,
Yeah.
It's all about not being who I was, not being allowed to be myself. Pain is all about not strong enough to move forward in life, not strong enough to speak up, be who I want to be.
Yeah.
The EFT Matrix changed all that. Now I live my life, I live my truth, and my body's readjusted to that perception and healed.
Yes, yes.
The reason it was all the pain in the first place was my body was maladjusting to the negative beliefs I had. And you change those beliefs, then the body can heal itself. And it's as simple as that.
And do you think that as we heal those things in ourselves, we're doing good for our families?
Absolutely,
Touch
of
on
course,
that.
yeah. All these beliefs just passed from generation to generation. So we're changing our family pattern, the people around us. And then as practitioners, I have the best job in the world now. I teach practitioners to go and help lots of people. And some of our old-time practitioners that work with 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people, some of them more, So, I mean, what a joy to travel around the world, meet wonderful people, go to countries like South Africa, Tokyo and Chile. And
well, in a way, that's why I wanted the book, to also be able to spread the seeds.
We need to get this word out. So it's great when people like yourself come and do a book. It's different ways of getting this out to the world. Living in a world that needs healing. Finally, I'd like to say is that EFT and Matrix is for everybody. You don't need to be a counselor. You don't need a psychologist. You can learn them quickly, easily. And that's what I love about this. I've had 16, 17-year-olds on the course, people in their 80s on the course. I've had people that, come, they're bricklayers, they're hairdressers. There's psychologists, they're Reiki people. It doesn't matter the background. This is for everybody. They can help themselves, their families. And if they want to be practitioners, then they can help lots of other people.
So it's really getting you out of your head, feeling the feelings in your body.
Yeah, and releasing that energy.
Thanks.
I hope the book, I'm sure it'll do very, very well. And all the books you've written have done really well in their genres. And I'm sure this will as well.
Thank you.
If something in this conversation resonated with you, I invite you to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because transformation begins when we stop being silent. Until next time, keep tapping, keep growing, and stepping into your best life.